morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Seriously. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein. This is Vehicle Virgins, and I've got a lot of amazing things to say to you guys. Thank you so much. Honestly, you guys mean the world to me. And there's a couple of fans that are very vital in this whole process. Shout out to No Boomer, Johnny Crypto, for informing me of something that essentially would have made me do a very impulse financial decision, which would have had some ramifications. At the end of the day, Vehicle Virgins is about cars. It's not about one particular car or car color. It's about you guys. It's about learning together. It's about making smart financial decisions. It's about pre-purchase inspections. You guys remember back in the day, probably 5-6 years ago, when I said a pre-purchase inspection saved me from buying the wrong BMW M5. And I ended up with the BMW M5 that you guys love and that hopefully someday will be back in the garage. Those particular fans alerted me of a specific video that has to do with the red P1. Loved the color, but as you can see in this video, doing my due diligence, and I actually wasn't the one who did it. I almost made a huge mistake, but thanks to my friends and my fans, they saved me from potentially a massive financial disaster. The good news is we do our due diligence, we don't rush into purchases, we do our research, we get a third-party opinion on a car. No matter what, always have a third party look at a car. Whether you've spent your hard-earned money and you've worked your butt off to buy your first car, regardless of the dollar amount, or you've worked for years and years and finally you're able to sit next to, hopefully, and I'll say hopefully because I'll continue, your Mclaren P1, always get an inspection. Whether it's a house, a boat, anything in life, make sure to check everything. Cross your T's, dot your I's, because at the end of the day, that inspection done by my friends saved me from a really bad problem. And an inspection on this car, which will happen after this video, hopefully all things are go, and this will be my Mclaren P1, contingent on the fact that when it goes through service today, everything checks out all clear. So with that, guys, like I said, it's not about one car. It's not about a silver or a red P1. It's not even about a yellow P1. It's about my love for cars. It's about sharing my love for cars with you guys who clearly are as obsessed with the automotive community, with the automobile as I am. And more importantly, making sure you always check out everything. Get a third-party opinion who either you trust or has no involvement in it. So why would they mess around to make sure that you end up with the perfect first car, the perfect P1, or the perfect last car? Doesn't matter who it's for. This is about the love of cars. And with that, let's check out, hopefully, my McLaren P1. Guys, I'm literally having trouble speaking because everything happens for a reason. My dream car since I was 10 years old was a 2004 Giallo Midas Lamborghini Gallardo. Yellow with a black interior with yellow stitching. I made that happen 10 years later at age 20. And God willing, at age 25, we've got a pearlescent yellow P1 with a black interior, yellow stitching, carbon fiber everywhere, the most incredible gearbox known to man that literally has something called torque fill, that when you pull the paddle, because it has a hybrid powertrain, when the revs drop, the boost doesn't, in theory, because of the hybrid battery. It literally makes it almost seamless acceleration. The fact that I'm sitting here, one of my favorite colors is blue, with a blue drag reduction system like a Formula One car, a red iPass button, a boost button, a race mode, a launch control, all my favorite things in the world, carbon fiber everywhere. I mean, look at the door sills, guys, this beautiful carbon fiber, beautiful satin carbon fiber. You know, when I talked about my 600 LT, I actually rewatched the video recently, and I talked about the fact that I actually originally, and I forgot, wanted satin carbon fiber. It's all about smart buys, right? It was a little bit cheaper to get it in gloss carbon, and then aftermarket through a couple partners that are good friends of mine, wrap the car in satin so it would make the car satin for less money. And no matter how much money or how little money a car is, it makes sense to get a good deal. And it makes sense to get the right deal, not the wrong deal. And I am just praying it just feels right when I'm sitting in here that this is the car. But I mean, look, the other ones, from what I can remember, they don't even matter to me anymore. Didn't have an insignia that says P1 in yellow, literally in yellow. I mean, why did I purchase a Rolex? Because it was yellow. Why did I have one that was yellow and green? Because I love emerald. I love the color of emerald. And it represented yellow. It represented that 1 million subscribers. Gold. But I like yellow more than gold, to be honest. This car is the representation of me realizing my dream, working every single day towards that dream, making sure my finances were in order, making sure I didn't make any dumb moves, which honestly, guys, you can learn from some of my mistakes. You guys have basically seen my entire life from ages 18 to 25, and I'd be lying to everyone if I was gonna say I didn't make any mistakes. But I'd rather you guys learn from my mistakes than make mistakes yourself. And I just, I can't believe it. I mean, it's got glass in the ceiling so you can look up at the stars or look up at the sun. It's such a spectacular day today. You know, I talked about, I love leather steering wheels more than Alcantara because the leather doesn't make my hands sweat. And at the end of the day, I love driving. I love cars, but if a car is stationary to me, it's only stationary right now because we got to make sure it's all good, because I'd hate to take it off the lot and have there be an issue. So we're going to make sure it's all good, and then I get to grip this leather steering wheel, God willing, where my hands aren't going to sweat, my palms are sweaty, knees weak, you know, and I'm going to get to drive this car. I'm praying home. And you know where the first place I would take a car like this is? Not to a restaurant, to the canyons. To my favorite place in the world, the Malibu Canyons, the best driving roads in the world, in my humble opinion, and only my opinion alone. I cannot wait to feel what it's like to own this P1 and drive it on my favorite roads, park it in my garage, and wake up the next morning and go, wow, that wasn't a dream. That's really real. Because when I got my Gallardo, I swear on my life that it took me about a month. I had worked, you know, with the idea of it, you know, pictures of it on phone backgrounds, pictures of it on the wall. Guys, visualization is a thing. You got, oh my gosh, literally a, what? Okay, you could not script that in a movie, that a Giallo Midas Gallardo first generation drives by at the same time as I am in a, I am just, what the, anyways, I'm gonna try not to swear. Whoa, that was powerful. So I lost my train of thought. I'm gonna hop out of the car. I don't even know how to respond. What the heck? That is, are you kidding me? The car's in race mode. It's got the wing up. We're gonna go make this deal happen. We're gonna make sure that the car is checked out. And when the deal goes through, because that, you know, finances were already in order. They were for all the other cars. It was just my due diligence, whether it's a house, you know, sometimes, I'll leave it at this, sometimes inspection reports and appraisals don't come up the way you want them to, even though it's your dream. They just don't quite work out, and they don't work out for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, just like what just happened there. And we're gonna make sure, even though everything's pre-approved, even though the finances are fine, I could have gotten any of the cars, but that doesn't matter. I want the right car, and I'm praying, and I just know this is the right car. Because at the end of the day, guys, thank you so much. To the fans that supported me, to the fans that provided information about other cars, that allowed me to end up with potentially, hopefully, the right car. Thank you so much. This has been a learning experience together. I hope you guys learned something. I definitely learned a lot throughout this experience. Honestly, guys, we're gonna go in there. The deal is already done, so to speak, but we gotta make sure that this car is all set. I don't care whether it's $1,000 or over $1 million for a P1. If you worked hard for it, make sure it's the right deal. Not necessarily just a good deal. Sometimes it's too good to be true. But if you check it out, sometimes it's the perfect deal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I seriously look forward to seeing you next video.